Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back once again for the month of November to revisit the top 10 teams that you should only be building right now in Marvel Strike Force, especially for those of you that are transitioning from the mid-game to end-game. These 10 teams we look at every single month typically don't change too often, plus minus a couple of changes in the meta to be mindful of. But otherwise, this has been a very, very strong foundation for the last few months. And like I said, there hasn't been a crazy amount of changes outside of obviously some new teams being introduced as part of the daily requirements. Now, you'll see in this list, guys, that's going to allow you to unlock, I would say probably 80 to 90% of the content in Marvel Strike Force. It's going to set you up for success, build a strong foundation in your roster, and as well as allow you to be able to persist in some of the key game modes that you'll be able to thrive in, especially in my personal opinion anyways. And again, this is biased from my own personal experience being free to play, is that we try to focus more on the PvE aspect of the game, just because that's going to allow us to actually get more rewards every single day, especially when you think about the raid requirements every day, going through Spotlight, and as well as the annihilation raids that we have, especially when you think about things like Arena, being able to generate power cores every single day. It's going to set you up for success, and that's why I like to take a look at these 10 teams, because especially if you're a new player starting out, I understand it can be very overwhelming with the number of teams in the game, and they are releasing a team every single month, sometimes 2 teams in a month, and that's why we need to be mindful of the meta. So let's get into it, guys. As I alluded to earlier, this is going to heavily focus on the PvE aspect, because personally, that's where I find that you're getting the most reward. And then after you build up the PvE game modes there, including raids and so forth, and dark dimensions, which allow you to unlock some of the best mythic characters in the game, that's going to allow you to kind of expand a bit further if you're interested in game modes like War and Cosmic Crucible. Having said that, there is going to be a War team or 2 here as well that I want to point out, obviously, because they're going to have value outside of just their intended game mode. So that's really what we try to get a line of sight on in these update videos, but as well, hopefully help you guys out in terms of understanding, what is current in the meta and what shouldn't be, or what should you be cautioning in terms of investing overall. So we're talking about raids over and over. Let's just start with the raid teams and just get right into it, because of the fact that these raid teams are going to be used every single day, and that's why they have likely the utmost value. But I do want to talk about ones that are fading, ones that will likely be replaced in the coming months here. So the newest team here that you see on the very top is the Immortal Weapons. They are the newest Mystic raid team. You likely won't have access to them because these characters are still getting released as we speak. But I only bring this up because if you watch this later on in the end of November or maybe early December or so forth, you'll see that Immortal Weapons likely will be invested in. So this is the team that you should be building up if you're partaking in the Mystic raid node section. Having said that, it's going to take some time, and we know right now with the difficulties that they can moderate, they can change that right now. So Night Stalkers is the go-to Mystic team right now until they are replaced officially with Immortal Weapons, but you have to wait for Immortal Weapons to be farmable first in that respect. That means that you might want to be careful with Night Stalkers, right? You might want to caution your investment. That's also why you can see here, I was hesitant on investing in the full team. I had higher focus on Blade and Oath, because those 2 characters can set you up for success in the city section of Age of X Saga, which allows you to unlock Professor Xavier later down the road. Would I still recommend these 2 characters? 100%. They're still 2 of the strongest, most powerful city-based characters that can synergize with Vigilante successfully as well. So I think there's still tons of value. I just don't know about the full Night Stalkers team right now going forward, but they are still a good all-around team that you can use either in Crucible and War. So just lots of value to be had. Insidious 6 tech team utilized here, one of the newer raid teams actually, so they're going to have quite a bit of shelf life here. I definitely need to bring up my Shocker as well higher up, but guys, I just want to point this out. This team has been confirmed to be successful as well in Blue Marvel, and you can utilize these key members as well for Age of X Saga. So there's tons of value with Insidious. Definitely build them up. I just was more conservative, guys. I don't need to build them up fully just yet, but I mean, I would definitely think that they're probably going to be a sound investment, especially give your 20 a couple of them, or maybe even 3 of them, especially if you want to partake in some of the higher end content all the way to the max. Hellfire Club, one of the more recent mutant raid teams as well. And as you can see, I was conservative there, but they're still doing really good on difficulty 9 right now for my annihilation raid. So I likely will build them up. They have value in Crucible. They can be utilized in War. They're really strong in War actually too. So I mean, this is a really, really good team. It's unfortunate that they don't have value in the Blue Marvel event respectively, but some of these members can actually be also used in Dark Dimension given their costs, especially Madeline Pryor, and as well as some of the things that you'll be also seeing later down the road with Age of X Saga. So I still think they're really, really good. Just something to be mindful of there. And then we have to start talking about two of the more older teams that we have that were released this year, but they'll still have a bit of shelf life, I think, at least until the first quarter of 2026. So that's Thunderbolts being for the bio section of raids, as well as Vigilante, which in my opinion is actually the best raid team out of all these teams I've listed. So if there's any team to focus on, guys, and then build to the max, it's the Vigilante, because they have value in the Quasar return Scourges, as we kind of saw with this past week, but as well, they're just really, really powerful in all game modes, like strong in War, strong in Crucible. You can utilize them for Age of X, as I mentioned earlier, Dark Dimension, so forth, right? There's just tons and tons of use cases for them. I'd be careful with Thunderbolts because they don't really synergize as well as the other raid teams, but they still have value in terms of some plug and play respects. If you think about characters like Songbird, they're decent in War, and Cosmic Crucible, they're just the filler team that you can get through with just some easy punch ups. So that's all I gotta say there. Okay, to wrap things up for raids, and I won't spend too much time on this, is that we do have the Uncanny Avengers here and mixed in with Alpha Flight. Alpha Flight shouldn't even be on this list, but they're only on here because of the fact that they're required every day for Spotlight. So guys, this team is going to get replaced. I've been saying this for months now. They should be replaced, but either Marvel, Strike Force, or Scopely, they're just trying to figure out what team to actually slot over them, so that way we don't need to build them up anymore. But that's why I've completely stopped investing in them, and basically now just on cruise control until we actually get to the finish line here of replacing this team fully. Uncanny Avengers, I really like their synergy and what they can be utilized. Remember, they're required every day as well in the Annihilation raids, but it's nice that they can dabble in both Spotlight and the Annihilation. Jean Grey was part of my Age of X saga. That's why she's geared to 20. And I do like the fact that you can utilize characters here like Hercules, Beast, Storm. They have value in War as well, and as well as Crucible. If you think about that Immortal X-Men piece synergy too. So just something to be mindful of there. And then finally have some more of the PvP aspects of the game, but they still have lots of value in the PvE game modes, and that's Brimstone. I think Brimstone is going to be the shining light of Chapter 3. They're proving to be very strong. As you can see, I've started slowly building them up now officially. We are obviously still farming up Hellcat, waiting for her free-to-play shards there, but Daemon has been absolutely amazing. Living Mummy, synergy with Doctor Strange Heartless, amazing team. Really strong in War, really good in Crucible, and the fact that they can actually be utilized now in the Blue Marvel PvE game mode as well. Massive value add, guys. So definitely build them up. I don't know how I prioritize them right away, because these last two teams here that I want to talk about are the arena teams. And in my opinion, like I said earlier, I think arena is either the most important or the second most important game mode, because it generates a very limited resource in the game that allows you so much flexibility, especially for key events that we've kind of seen with the purple ISO 8 leaderboards in the past few weeks and months. So Fantastic Four, I like showing all 5 characters because really the emphasis should be the 3-piece of having Franklin Richards, Sue Storm, and Reed. These 3 are the ones that are going to be carrying your arena meta. They're utilized in the Chapter 1, Chapter 2 trials for Quasar and Blastar. They are utilized later on for Blue Marvel, and I also brought them into Age of X. So I mean, there's just value. They check every single checkbox there. You just got to build them up, guys, and they're going to be generating power cores for you every single day. So goes without question, they have to be built up. Unfortunately, they're not farmable, right? So you can actually still get shards here and there of the store creds, but it's so much RNG that's why I have Annihilators on here, because of the fact that they were the pre-arena meta before Fantastic Four, right? And for myself anyways, I brought in Thanos Endgame for Age of X. I would still recommend him. He's just a really powerful character, and his mechanic, I think, still has a lot of plug and play with other characters that can cast exposure. Gladiator, still one of the better tanks in the game, and then Gore does what he does in terms of just clearing charges, shredding enemy defenses and whatnot. So those 3 are still really important, in my honest opinion, in terms of some plug and play aspects. I utilize them in Crucible. They have good value in War as well, and you can even argue that they can be used in Dark Dimension as well, just given that they can generate ability energy. So I would definitely recommend them right now if you don't have Fantastic Four, and that's why they're on this list. But they're also going to be replaced off this list once the Fantastic Four officially becomes a really reliable way to get character shards of them day in and day out. There you guys have it. In my opinion, the 10 teams right now that are part of the current meta that you should be focusing on all your attention anyways, because it's going to build you a strong foundation. It's going to allow you to partake in some of the key legendary events that get returned every single month, and as well allow you to be able to thrive in the PvE aspects and then translate over to even the PvP game modes and ultimately those mythic character unlocks. And there you have it, guys. So do let me know down in the comments below. Did I miss anything? Are there any teams that you feel that should be included in this list from your guys' personal experience? Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.